Hello and welcome to another episode of my Cramped Kitchen, which today is coming to you from me in my pyjamas. Not because it's lockdown and time has no meaning to anyone, but because we're doing a coffee. And I usually have coffee when I wake up and get out of bed, so that's what we're doing. I've woken up, got out of bed, and we're going to make some coffee. There's a new sort of coffee that's doing the rounds as a bit of a fad. It's called Dalgona Coffee or something or other. I think it's from South Korea. I don't know. It's like a sort of upside down cappuccino. So you have the hot milk at the bottom, and then this really thick, frothy blob of coffee on top. And that's what we're going to try and make. Yeah. So ingredients you need: milk, coffee. We've got some over here. A bit of Kenko Millicano. I'll hold that up for the camera. There we go, Kenko. You can see it in the shiny tin. Actually, might be able to read that where it's shiny. Sugar, we've got some of that, and we're just going to measure out 400ml of milk. I'm not entirely certain what the purpose of this coffee is. I think it's simply just to look good in pictures on Instagram. So it seems like a lot of effort for what you actually produce, as far as I'm aware. It's a really nice looking coffee. I don't know what it tastes like. I've never had one. I've just seen pictures of it and thought, you know what, that seems an of the moment thing to try and do. So that's what we're going to try and do. We've got 400ml of milk. Got a pan here, which we're just going to use to gently heat the milk. And we're just going to use that to gently warm the milk up. So of course, milk, tricky thing to try and heat up in a pan. You often end up either burning it, or it gets a skin, or it's just not hot enough. So we're going to get that nice and piping hot, but gently. We'll just rinse out the jug. Like I said, this is the first time I've actually tried this recipe, this dish, drink thing. And so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. So the next thing we need is 2 tablespoons, I believe, of coffee. Yeah, 2 tablespoons of instant coffee. I realise I'm now out of frame. But there we go. We've got our tablespoon measure thing here. There we go. And that will give us 1 tablespoon. So we need 2 of those. There's nowhere for me to really do this that's in camera apart from the draining board over here. 1, 2. And then mix in equal parts sugar as well. I think it's the sugar that's going to really help this become quite frothy, really. The sort of... Equally, you're supposed to do this with piping hot water. So we'll reboil... So we will reboil the kettle in a second to get piping hot water, which I think when mixed with the sugar creates like almost a cotton candy floss effect. So that's our 2 tablespoons of sugar. Boil the kettle. So the kettle's still boiling away, getting that piping hot. And then I'm probably going to end up burning my fingers, because what you need is 2 tablespoons, again, of piping hot water. So I think the kettle's pretty much ready. Yep, that's hot. Right. Pour out 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. Doesn't seem like enough liquid, but we'll see how this goes. And then you need to beat it really, really hard. So that's why we've got the whisk back out. And so what this is supposed to do is you're supposed to be able to beat it into stiff peaks. Sort of like when you're making a meringue, when you're sort of beating egg whites, and you'll be able to sort of pull the beater out and it gives you stiff peaks. At the moment this is just sort of sloppy coffee, so we're going to keep beating and actually doing something. The coffee is now, if I try and get this out on camera, it's now quite a sort of, if I hold it against my t-shirt, there you'll be able to see it actually. It's sort of a very sort of lovely coffee brown colour, and it's starting to get thick, so it's actually turning into cake mix. If I try once again, try and come up to the camera, it's really quite thick and it's getting paler and paler as we go, because obviously what we're doing is we're making the coffee more dispersed through the mixture, we're adding more and more air. I'm just going to turn the milk up a bit more, and I think we're getting there. I'm going to keep beating. Nearly there, it's definitely getting thicker. This is like magic. I'm fascinated by this. I'd say that is stiff peaky, because that is roughly the texture you have when you're making a meringue. So I'd say that's pretty much ready. If I take that out of there, I'll try and hold this up so you can see it on camera. This is the really thick, glutinous coffee that we've made. And it's sort of thick, sticky meringue texture. Let's see what it tastes like. Wow. It's like really aerated coffee. If you've ever, when you eat sort of cake mixture or cake batter, and it's all very light and fluffy, even though it's goopy, that's what we've achieved there. Let's see how hot our milk is. Not very. Let's put the turn the wick up on that. While the milk comes properly hot, I might just actually preheat the cup as well, while I keep whipping. Okay, so The milk is nearly up to temperature. The coffee batter, whip, foam, froth thing is pretty much done, and the cup is preheating, so now we've just got to assemble it. This seems like a lot of work for coffee, especially ironically given that you start with instant coffee, something that you could just add boiling water to and have coffee. It's a lot of effort for one coffee. Hope it's good. Yeah, so if I try and hold this up to the camera for you, that is coffee, and you can see how it's sort of thick and hanging off of there like cake batter or meringue mix. That's unreal. So I just want to go, but no. Anyway, nearly there. We'll fast forward this bit in the edit. So the milk is hot, the coffee is that colour and that constituency. This is literally the jug upended, and it's not going anywhere. You could probably almost stick the beater into it. Milk hot, so let's just empty the preheated cup. So we've got a nice warm cup to serve this in, which keeps the drink warm for longer. The next bit, I haven't really thought how I was going to do that, was get the milk from the hot saucepan into the cup without spilling too great an amount, because spilt milk, it's such a pain to clear up. There is a point crying over it. Spilt burnt milk. A half cup measure. So we've got a nice hot cup, our hot milk. We can dunk that in there and fill the cup. 1, 2, 3. Take the milk off of the heat, and if we get the spoon, this is going to be the tricky bit of trying to get the sticky foamed coffee out of this jug and into the cup without causing too great a mess. Will it float on the milk is the real question. Oh, it does. That's magic. I love this. Let's try and get another scoop in there. Come on, there we go. So, if I try and, how are we going to do this? If I put this on the table and get the camera, This would probably work better if I had an actual latte glass, but oh well. So that's what we've made. It's coffee. Yeah, it doesn't look hugely photogenic, but that's probably because I've just stuck it in a white coffee cup, the sort of thing you'd find at like a roadside cafe. Question is, all that effort, what does it taste like? Well, if I just sip it now, all I'm going to get is a face full of the sticky coffee, so I'm going to have to stir that in, aren't I? Which is immediately going to ruin the presentation of it. It just looks, I don't know. Will it taste any different because it's been aerated? I don't know. This seems like a lot of hassle to go through for a coffee. What are we up to on the video at the moment? About 23 minutes. And I still haven't actually drunk my coffee yet. And I've got washing up to do of 2 measuring cups, a saucepan with milk in it, and a jug that's now full of sticky coffee, and the beater. I don't want to sound like a downer, but this seems like a lot of effort for coffee. Seems to be stirred in. Oh no, that's definitely worth the effort actually. Wow. I mean, it's intolerably sweet. But wow. It has a cappuccino style thickness to it that's really nice. Oh. That's... oh no, that's too good. The amount of effort I've put into it is ridiculous. But I've got sticky coffee all over my fingers. Washing up to do, but when you sip, oh, no, that is, yeah, worth 25 minutes to make a cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is. That's fantastic, that is.